No matter how it may seem, no one has control over your life except for you. This is not personal, financial, or life advice. We're just a couple of guys and an occasional guest talking out loud. Welcome to the What Are We Doing podcast.
We live?
We live.
Let's do it live.
We live.
Let's do it live. Let's do it live. Let me know when you start, though.
We started.
We started?
Bro, yeah.
Oh, we are here. We are in the building. Back at you another week. It's Monday. It could be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or the following Monday because you fucking messed up and you backtracked and you missed another episode. I just kind of messed up. You want to start over?
No, I don't want to start over.
All right, we here. We here, guys.
Episode 40.
Episode 40.
Woo!
We almost at 50.
Yeah, 10 more.
We almost at 50.
10 more loyal weeks.
We here though, guys. Ain't no corny jokes. We're here to punch you in the face, uppercut you, give you a little chokehold, German suplex, pick you up, choke slam you,
I'm laughing because what are you doing?
and rock bottom you,
I'm laughing because
and throw you over the top rope
he's living out his career right now.
of the mindset in the gym. That's what we doing. As you drive, and you already know, you gotta turn the heat down. You gotta watch out for traffic. You might can't see so many gems coming out your stereo. Might fuck you up. You know my name is Kelly, and I'm here with my co-host Kadeem, bro. Back in the flesh like he never left. What's up, guys? How's your week going? Everyone says it's going good.
Yo, what is good with this guy? Yo?
What's up, man?
What's up, everyone? What's up, bro? What's up? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Obviously, you're in a great mood right now.
Huh?
Obviously, you're in a great mood
That's my
right
mood
now.
every time. It's funny because I was talking to my sister one day, and she's like, "Why are you so hyped?" I'm like, "I'm always hyped." She's like, "Yeah, you be hyped like 4 a.m, and I do be hyped at 4 a.m.
Yo, I'm dead right now. What's good though, bro? How's everything going?
Everything's going real.
I feel like I don't even hear the intro music. Did that die down already? You went on like a 2 minute.
Did that die down? That's like intro music's like 7 seconds. What is he talking about?
Yo, I was listening to this podcast, bro, and their intro was literally 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm just playing a song, and I'm just like, yo, what the fuck am I listening to?
Track
Some on-signed hype rapper they got on for the beginning.
Yeah, track
Shout out to Big Sean for giving us the for giving us this.
Do it.
So what's up?
No, it wasn't. We looked at you, flipped the other switch, like
Bro,
literally watching him flip the other switch.
This podcast is the best. This guy, our camera guy, just tripped over the cord and knocked everything off.
Yo, wow.
Let's continue.
Yo,
Are we recording?
yeah, we're recording
Are you
now.
sure?
I'm gonna have to edit some of that dry stuff out, but
Dry stuff.
not dry stuff, but
That
the
was lubricated. Your silence made that joke like
what
not
what
corny,
it
but your
was.
silence made that joke like whoa, did he just say that? Hey yo, that's what your silence did. If you would have kept going, I'm not talking to you. If you would have kept going, it would have went with the flow.
Yo, how's life?
Ha ha ha! It's good. This guy's out of control, man. Yo, oh my god,
Episode number 40.
dude. We gotta speed this up, man. Come on.
Yo, all right, because we
Shot's
both gotta
sick
get
right
out of
now.
here.
I gotta
Yeah,
go pick up a kettle.
yo, how is that?
Pretty much
How
a
is that?
teapot.
You playing house now? How's that, bro?
I'm not playing house. I am. And like, I ain't playing no more. I'm in it. Yo, it's going really good.
How long has it been so far?
I think like 3 weeks. Let me see.
Yeah, when was it? I think it might have been 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah, 3 weeks. Oh wow. Damn. 3 weeks already.
And it's the first time you moved out and you've been living on your own, right?
Right.
Well, not living on your own, but like living with somebody else besides your
Oh,
family.
living on my own.
Yeah, okay.
Well, this is still kind of living on my own. My mom's not there.
True, facts. How's that experience though? How's it been so far?
Honestly, in people keep thinking
I need the real answer. I don't want no BS answer.
No, but
here's the real answer.
Here's the thing, though. Like, my real answer is not BS, but people think it's BS.
Like, before we got on the podcast, I was like, "Yo, how is it living?" He's like,
I was like, "It's great.
We'll talk about it on the podcast." I'm like, "Nah," because I wouldn't really know how it is living.
But seriously, like, it's really great. The only bad thing that I have is that she uses my brush sometimes, and I don't like that because I'll be trying to brush my hair. And I see her hair, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So I told her, like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "Oh, we're living together. Like, I'm gonna use some of your stuff."
All right, so
and then that's it though. Like, the Vaseline goes kind of quicker. You know, it's not just me using the Vaseline no more. It's not just me using the lotion. But I like her lotion too, so I kind of use that. This food. You know, so if I'm not cooking, he's laughing. If I'm not cooking, she cooks, so it's food in there to eat. So it's kind of like I'm still at home because I don't have to always cook.
Yo, this is the worst. Episode 40 is the worst one.
No, it's not. But then I love it though. And then like, we pretty much have everything. Not everything we need, but we still get more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that people are looking for the juicy stuff. Like they want me to say like, "Oh, this and that, it's worth." It's really not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fact that I actually get to wake up and she's right next to me, and not in which because she had an apartment before, and I would be over there every night. You know that I'll always be over there, and it's different because like I'm coming home and I'm leaving, or you know, and we're living together.
Yeah, it's your home, like it's your tool, so you're not uncomfortable because she had a roommate before too.
Right,
so
right,
it wasn't
right.
like even though your roommate was cool, it was still like
I personally didn't like. I wasn't comfortable doing certain things because I know her roommate was there.
Of course. Out of respect.
And she always said, like, you know, it's okay.
It's okay to have you.
Yeah. In my eyes, it wasn't. Like even when she had moved back home for a few months, and I would be over there.
Yeah.
It kind of bothered me because it's like, yeah, they loved me and everything, and they wanted me around, but me personally, it was like, it didn't really feel right.
Yeah.
And now everything just feels great. It's crazy because I've been making a lot more money since I've moved there with trade and everything. I've been more focused, but I just really enjoy like coming home, she's there, or just like having my own space. It's a different type of feeling. I know people, they have it, but I didn't experience it. And then everyone always kept saying, "Oh, wait till the first month is over, or wait till 6 months is over. Let's see how you really feel." And I also think that, like, with our relationship is different. It works for us. Like, we communicate on everything. Like, literally, if and it's sometimes because I kind of put steroids on like small issues because like we don't really have issues. So whenever we do have an issue, I think of it as like, oh, the world's coming to an end. And now when I say steroids, I really mean steroids. Like, it could be one little mistake that one of us done, and I'll magnify the hell out of that. And that's one thing I got to personally work on, to not do that, because it's really not a big deal. And we have to come to a conclusion with that, because like we don't have arguments like that. We don't fight. So whenever we have like a small disagreement, not disagreement, but a small issue, I like blow it up as if it is a fight. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of as if I'm telling myself maybe I do want that, because that's quote unquote normal to be in a relationship and you're supposed to have a fight, but not really. But anywho, like, yeah, we communicate on everything. So
all right, so out of the relationship now, how is it moving, like living on your own, like having to actually do stuff? Because, well, I don't know how much you did, but because you said like she cooks and everything for you,
right? But
like
right,
laundry you did and everything like that. Yeah. So it wasn't that a big like adjustment then.
Well, one big adjustment is like for buying the stuff.
Yeah,
you know, my mom usually buys the stuff.
Yeah,
you know, like the living room,
like household stuff.
Yeah, we got
toilet paper,
right,
tissue paper, all that stuff. Like,
I mean, yeah, sometimes I would go to Walmart and I pick it up.
Okay,
but majority of the things my mom did,
of course,
you know. And then I was like, we have to do that. So that transition alone is more of an adulthood. But like, a huge transition is, I gotta pay Con Edison and National Grid, and that right there alone is.
Oh, like, I got a plug for you when you fit. I already told you I got a discount for you. I get you a discount. Yeah. We'll talk about it.
But I already have an account. Is it?
Yeah, I got you, bro.
My man, look at this. This is what the podcast does. So if you guys need something, Kadeem is your man to hit him up. If you move out,
anybody need help with that Con Edison bill, hit me up.
Perfect.
And we'll talk about it more off air.
That's perfect. Right? Plug right here, man. My guy. Give me 5.
So yeah, so now you're paying like real bills now.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So I spoke to my mom about it, because she said, you can pay National Grid. I was like, yeah. She said, well, welcome to the real world. But it's like, it's a transition. And I mean, again, I never experienced it before, but I mean, I'm up for the challenge, obviously. So it's more about adjustments. So I mean, I always write my things out, like financial and everything. So sometimes I just got to add on, and I just know that, you know, certain date this got to be paid and so forth. But what pissed me off with National Grid, and I hope you guys are listening who work with you, because this system just doesn't make sense to me. And I explained it to them too. So we had an appointment for last Friday. I think that's why I had to switch the date to record.
Okay.
And our appointment was set for between 8 a.m. and 11:59 p.m.
all day.
So I asked them, I said, wait, you mean a.m.? They said, no, p.m. So I'm like, all right, so you think that, like, what if I work, right?
Yeah.
You think that someone's going to be home, like the time span.
What do they have to come in for?
To turn the gas on.
Oh, turn the gas. Okay.
So but I asked, I say, like, how does it work? So she said, all right, so we're going to call you when we're 10 minutes away. Like, what if I'm in Brooklyn? If we call you and you're not there,
you have to reschedule.
No, not just reschedule, but we get charged like $30-something.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, so can you tell me a time span? They don't know, and that's bullshit to me, because like this is 2018. There's no way you can tell me that any type of organization, company, you don't have no type of tracking system. When you UPS, FedEx, you have some type of tracking, Spectrum, some type of tracking where you know
you gotta
we'll
give
be
me
from this
a
time
shorter
to this
time
period.
You can't give me all day.
8 a.m. to 11:59. So then she's gonna say to me, "Oh, this must be your first time." That pissed me off. But besides, like, it's my first time. Like, are you not in 2018? You must be in the 90s or something. Like, that's just bullshit to me. But anywho, so what even pissed me off even more is that I stayed the whole time and they didn't come. All right, they called me around like 10:30 p.m.
Damn.
I was in the house. Good thing is that I had things to do in the house. And personally things too that, you know, I kind of like, you know, sped up with doing, because I was pushing up to next week. But they called around like 10:30, and then they had the audacity to say that we're not coming no more.
Oh damn.
They said we're gonna come tomorrow morning. Check this out, between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. You couldn't do that today? Like, you couldn't do that? So then they did that. And I was a little pissed off. So then eventually they called back probably like 45 minutes later, and they said we're outside.
Okay.
So that, yeah. But besides that, it's good. But let's actually talk about that today, because I know a lot of people who have not gone to college, they haven't experienced that. So
I think for most people,
the
first experience of moving out is probably college, like typically, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like that was my first experience too, was college. And I didn't like, for me, the first year of college, I wasn't a big fan, because I lived on campus my first year when I went away. And I felt on campus, there was more rules than it was living at my house. So I'm thinking like, yo, I'm about to be free. I'm about to do this. And yo, I'm on lockdown. Like, they didn't have curfews, but you had to check in and check out when you left at a certain time.
Curfew.
You couldn't bring like certain people over and stuff like that. I'm not a drinker, but I mean, this is the first year of college. So I mean, you couldn't like drink. You couldn't live your life basically. Like, you were always watched. You had people coming in your room and things like that. Like, I just felt like I was locked. So I hated my first year living away. Like, I hated it. And then after that, I'm like, yo, I'm not going back to school if I can't live off campus or in my own place. But my second year of college, I lived like, we got a group of like 8. Well, how much of us? It was 1, 2, 3. It was 6 of us.
You counted Jordan?
It was 6 of us. I don't even know what that was. Yo, explain this joke now. Who's Jordan?
I don't know.
So it was 6 of us. So my second year of college, it was 6 of us, and we got like a huge house, like a huge house, and that house was literally just like a party house. It was relatively really big, so it was a party house. That's all we did, legit 24 like that. I didn't like that vibe. It's because for me, when nobody's around me. And if you really know me, I'm usually by myself. I like chilling by myself. I like hanging by myself. I like my personal space. So when I'm around people for too long, for me to recharge, I need to be by myself. And that house, no matter what time it was, no matter what day it was, there was something going on in that house. Because there was so many people in that house. There's always people coming in, coming out, always parties. So that
you wasn't feeling that.
I was feeling it for like the first month.
You wasn't feeling that.
After the first 2 months, 3 months, and then next semester, I'm like, all right, now we got to do something. So, but
what changed?
The semesters.
So what did you say to them? Like, guys, like, we got.
I mean, I never ever said anything. Like,
why?
Because that's not because it I'm gonna be the one guy like, oh, we're in college. Oh, let's be more responsible.
I'll be responsible. Like, yo, get the fuck out. Like, can I get some me time?
Nah, so I mean, but I had my room, so I usually just went in my room and just relaxed in my room and stuff like that. So, but that was my second year of college. So it was a great experience to live with that much people. It was a great experience because we had a lot of parties. I feel like that house, I met so much people that I still chill with now just because so much people were still in and out. And I was meeting so much people because it's 6 guys in like different fields, not fields, but different majors, bringing their friends. And in college, you don't really meet anybody that's not in your major, especially I went to a more technical school. So if you weren't in my major, I was only taking technical classes. Okay. So maybe I might see you in the math or English class, but I'm not really talking to anybody in my math class. But like say my electric class where I'm working hands-on with other people, those are the people you build a bond with. So those are the people that are my core friends. So I'll be bringing those people over, and then so you meet a mix of everybody basically. So that was a good situation. I met a lot of friends in that situation, partied a lot in that situation, and that was it. So after that, in my next 2 years, so I was in college for 5 years. So the next 2 years after that, I lived with Nick. Nick is the guy who does our artwork. Shout out to Nick. Yeah, shout out to Nick D. So if you see his artwork, I lived with him for the next 2 years. So the first time we lived in this really, really nice loft. Where did we live our first time? No, we lived the same place 2 years. So we lived in this loft. We lived in this loft apartment or whatever like that, and that was dope. I like that more because it was my boy. I grew up with Nick. I knew Nick for forever, for my whole life basically. So that was the easy transaction, and that was regular. I feel like a lot of the same things. Like you don't realize a lot of stuff you have to buy. I mean, my parents were definitely still helping me out, sending me money. I did have a job. That's when I worked at Sprint. So that was a good vibe too, and let's see where the highlights of those stuff. And again, like that's when I was really quiet. Like we were just chilling. Sometimes I would go days without seeing Nick just because our schedules were completely different. So
it'd be like that.
Yeah, thanks. Living, cooking for yourself, doing all that stuff. I liked living on my own, but it's nothing that I would say. I have so much freedom at my house right now. Like I do what I want. People come in, see me, whatever. We're doing a podcast in my house right now. So my parents are like not like uptight or strict or anything like that. So I don't see the difference. I know the major reason for that, a lot of people move out, is because they either bumping heads with family members, parents. A lot of females want to move out quick because I feel like females always think they're on lock and things like that. But from my experience, living somewhere else and living here is almost, I want to say, the same thing. What can I do? I can't be blasting music at 2:00. But I mean, even though I live by myself, you can't blast music at 2:00 just because you have neighbors and stuff like that. So
I'm not gonna blast music. That's not what I do.
Exactly, but yeah, I mean, normal stuff like that. So I don't have there's no urge for me to leave. That's why I'm comfortable here, coming in and out. Like I'll stay here, I'll rock out, and I do a lot of business with my family too. So I mean, it's right here. A lot of times we record. My mom's here working from home and stuff like that. So I don't really have no issue or anything.
Yeah, and I tell people the same thing. Like if you don't need to move out, don't move out. Yeah, especially here in New York. Like it's not cheap.
It's too much money, bro. You want to say how much you're paying for rent or no? Okay, you want to give us an estimate?
and besides that though, like I tell people like I understand why people have like a room. Like when they rent out a room, and rooms go for $800.
Yeah.
So if rooms go for $800, I mean there you go. Yeah. There's a little estimate. But besides that though, if you don't need to move out, don't move out. Use that money that you're gonna quote unquote pay for rent. Save it. You know, let's just factor it in. Let's say I think the average. How much is a bedroom apartment? Not bedroom, but a basement apartment is like $1,200, right? Yeah.
For out here, like $1,200. Oh yeah.
So a basement room is $1,200. So let's just say you have a basement room that you're gonna pay for, and just factor it in. So whatever you have, put $1,200 to the side and just keep saving it up. And then also you gotta factor in utilities, which is expensive too. So just give yourself like a little window of how much. You could start with like $1,500.
Yeah, and I know the price is crazy because when I was living in Pennsylvania, I was paying around. We paid semester when we had to live off campus, so I think it was like $2,100 a semester. What's a semester, like 4 or 5 months?
So $200 a month?
Huh?
A month?
No. You see, that's crazy. For the semester we would pay like $2,300. Wow. So that's like maybe like $400 or $500 a month we're paying.
What we're paying for, I was talking to one of my boys who live in Atlanta right now. What we're paying for,
it's convenience.
Yeah, because pretty much he was saying down there, like what I'm paying for the price, we can get like a 4-bedroom down there, a swimming pool, indoor swimming pool, a backyard, and it's crazy that because we're planning to leave New York.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, but New York is so expensive.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, this world of money, I feel like it's going to be hard to make the money anywhere else except for here. Like,
it depends on your field, though. I don't need to be in New York to trade.
But I mean, she's in she's in marketing, so
Right.
this is the perfect.
She can transfer.
Okay, but would the price be equivalent to what she's making now?
Yeah, it would be.
Where would y'all feel like y'all would move?
I can say it on the air. Atlanta. Maybe Atlanta. So we're looking at Atlanta.
You have family in Atlanta,
California.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to Atlanta before.
Really?
Maybe when I was really, really young. I think maybe when I was really, really young.
even now, to like Atlanta, like the cost of living out there is cheaper.
Of course, yeah.
Everything is cheaper out there, man. I actually remember when we went to go visit my sister down there, right? So the first night we went to get tacos. We got 2 pitchers of alcohol. 4 tacos each, and I think the bill was like $27.
I think I remember you made a post about that or something like that. Yeah.
Couldn't believe that. And then I remember my sister's husband. He's a good listener too.
Yeah.
I remember Corey. He was telling me that
I listen to the podcast, Truck Driver.
Yeah.
So
he was telling me when we come down, just be prepared to spend a lot of money. Like I think some Papa Doc's, I believe it's called. It's like a famous
that seafood place.
Yeah.
So, they have it in mad airports down south.
Right. So I was like, all right. So how much we gotta pay? And he said it's probably gonna be like $90, $100.
Yeah.
So I showed Sean. We started laughing because every time we go out, the least we spend is $100.
Yeah.
So the fact that like going somewhere and their most like luxurious restaurant, which is probably gonna spend $100, that shows you right there the big difference.
It's so funny because like when we go back to school, like everybody comes back to school. It's funny because in college you're struggling. Everybody's going to the bar and everything like that. You're struggling to pay for a shot or pay for a drink or everything. You're like, damn, a drink out there, bro, is $3.50, bro. $3.50.
What kind of drink though?
Like a mixed drink.
A mix what?
Yeah, anything, bro.
Alcohol?
Yeah, a top shelf drink will probably
shelf?
No. A top shelf will probably be like $5 or $6.
Damn.
It's so funny because I was so used to drinking out there, and one time I finally turned 21. I came back. I went to the city with all my friends one day, and I got a drink. I was like, let me get a Long Island iced tea. Yo, she brought back the bill. We were at some comedy show. The bill was $21, and I'm like, what is this? Yo, $21 for a drink. Yo, it's so funny. In my head, I knew for a fact. I was like, I have $30 today. I was like, I'm only spending $30, and I'm like, so that can get me at least 3 drinks. I'm picturing in my head. I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna go this one and this one. She brought back the bill, and I saw 20. I was like, yo, that is ridiculous. So now when we go back to Pennsylvania, it's cool because everybody's in their career, everybody has money, like, so it's just a really, really, really good time because like a drink is $3.50, $5. So everybody's like buying shots and drinks for everybody because it's so inexpensive. Pennsylvania, you can get like abbreviated for like $30, maybe not even $20, and you'll be done. Like done.
Yeah, New York is expensive. I actually saw the median what was it? Average. The average income out here. I think for the middle class is $50,000.
Yeah, I think like 52 or some shit like around that. Yeah.
And it's crazy because a lot of people even make that. And even to live in New York and to actually be above water. I don't mean like I mean, when I say above water, I mean like literally like your head is above water. You got to, I think you have to make, I think $64,000.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like the average teacher doesn't even make $64,000. So just factor in, it's understandable why living in New York, you have to have like a side gig. Like that's so common.
You have to have a side gig and you have to have roommates. Like roommates, that's a big thing in New York is having roommates. It's like,
and just think about that though. Like you rent out a room for $800 already.
Yeah.
And it's just a room. You're not like, you don't have your own space or whatever.
Yeah,
you literally just have a door, right? So then you have to factor that in. Then on top of that, like that's already stressful because you're living with someone. Personalities, you guys always clashing, you know. Yeah. So that's already a stress on you. Then on top of that, you have to go to work, which a lot of people don't even like their jobs here. So that's another stress. Then to add on to it, you're not making enough of your job to pay your bills. So that's another stress.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you have to do something else for money. That's another stress.
That's too funny.
And then to add it up again, you're dealing with your sexual needs. So either you have your dating or you're dealing with someone. And a lot of times, especially with the culture and everything, we don't know how to communicate correctly. So that's another stress. That's all these stress that you got to add on to what you're doing now. It's crazy.
It's so funny. When I used to drive all the time, there was this one lady that we just had a good conversation. I always kind of try to say like, yo, how much you paying? Like, what do you pay for rent? So we got in the conversation. She told me what she does. She's like she does marketing or something, but she's like way up, like almost like a CEO level company. And we were talking, and I was like, yo, how much? We went to the financial district, and I'm like, yo, I didn't even know people live in the financial district. And then she's like, yeah, it's the best place to live because on the weekends and like night times, it's the quietest place around here. Nobody, I mean, she said during the day, it's hectic, but at night times after 7 o'clock, it's a ghost town out here. So it's the best place. I'm like, yo, how much do you pay for rent here? She laughed, and she's like, I pay a lot for rent. I was like, how much? It can't
probably
be
like
that
5,000,
much.
right?
10 grand.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, but I have a roommate, so we split it. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you pay 5 grand. She's like, yeah. She's like, but I work hard for it. Then she started going, no, I work hard. Spell, yada, yada, yada.
And then another thing too, that's added to it because people think that like, oh, these people are so high off, they got money. No, here's the thing, like, regardless of how much you make, you're gonna have bills. So poor people have bills, rich people have bills. The only difference is that poor people bills and rich people bills, it's just that it's more expensive.
Exactly.
So let's say a poor person's bill, let's say it's like $1,200, $1,600 a month. You have a rich person whose bill is like $5,000, $6,000 a month. It's the same exact. It's just large amount. So you think they're making more than doing better, but they're actually not. Especially here living in New York. Like you literally just said it. Her what you said was $10,000 a month.
Yeah, $10,000.
And she's splitting with her roommate.
Yeah.
So you have people who doing the same thing. They're just making less.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's one thing in New York. It's so common when I speak to my friends that are not in New York and stuff like that. They are like, I want to live by myself. I want to get my own house and stuff like that. In New York, it's nothing to say, yo, I have a roommate or I have like 2 or 3 roommates.
That's normal.
That's super normal because nobody can afford
it's expensive.
Yeah, and even if you do, so the big thing in New York too is like you can win the lotto for places. Like if a new building's coming up, so people try to get in the lotto. It might take a year, 2, 3 years, but when buildings are first coming up, they have to offer it at the same price that the surrounding area is right now. Right. So they do a lotto, and the people that win the lotto get to move in those buildings and pay the same medium rent of the areas around them. So that's a big thing too. And when people win those, that's when they even bring in more roommates. I'm like, okay, now we really live in the rent for this is like $4,000, but we're only paying like $2,100 or $1,900, and we're splitting that 3 ways too. So that's a big thing. Now living on your own, like I said, the only way I can see myself moving out, well, eventually I'm going to have to move out, but I want to just set myself as much as possible. Like I said,
you should.
Yeah, there's no really urge to move out. And I kind of agree with you. Like, I always tell people, like, my really plan is to make as much money as I can in New York, save, invest, and then take that money and spend it somewhere else and make that stretch.
Yeah, because if you can, the money you can be putting for rent, if you can put that towards your own pockets,
exactly,
or investments, that right there that's beneficial.
I don't know if I told you the story. I was driving this guy one day, and we used to come from the airport. We're going into the city, and we got into the city. We were talking about investing and everything like that. He's like, I live in what do you say, like some Wyoming or some country like place. He's like, but I lived in the city for mad long. And then we get in the city, right? And then he's like, look, I want you to look up right now. Just look up. So I'm look up. He said, you see that building, tall ass building? He said, when I lived in New York, I used to work at the top floor in that building, huge building. I used to have my own suite, the perfect life. What did I do? I busted my ass. I retired at 40. I made a shitload of money, and now I went somewhere else. And he said, I'm still gonna have money to pass down to like my grandkids because the cost of living is so cheap. He said, if I lived in New York, maybe I'll be able to pay for my kids' college. But now that I moved out of New York, like my grandkids are gonna be good, and I'm just chilling.
And that's the thing with us, because it's so true. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Hands down.
But we have the philosophy of why take the difficult route. Like, so what we're doing now is getting our foundation set because we're dipping. And it's easier. I mean, I understand people want to live in New York and everything is great, but shit is hard.
Yeah.
It's easier for us to move out and still make the same income we have and still be able to live a better lifestyle that we want. Yeah, again, you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, but I don't want to take a difficult route. I want to take a route that's less, like, it's so much that I'm already dealing with. That route, I don't want to have to add that on to what's going on.
Yeah. No, I believe that. No, that's good, bro. That's good. So when's the estimated time that you guys are going to leave then?
I mean, we're a year at least, so.
Oh, okay. I'm just
I'm not trying to break the lease.
I'm just trying to see. Get my. You start hiring for another co-host.
No, we definitely got it. It's at least a year. I mean,
cool.
I'm definitely not breaking the lease. That's expensive.
Yeah. Sure.
You know, I ain't worth it.
You
know.
Nah, that's good, bro. That's good. I'm trying to think of anything else that related to moving out. Yeah, like I said, like I always preach, stay at home as long as possible. I think that really matters in New York. Once you're out in New York, then I think.
But again, as you said from the beginning, though, it also depends on your relationship at home.
Exactly.
You know, because if you're in an environment which is
not healthy,
it's not healthy, then I advise you to get out. But just remember, if you get out, what do you have to pay for? So you have to, don't just jump out and then just say, oh fuck, actually. Like put yourself out there and like mentally and say, all right, I will have to.
And I didn't realize that. It took me just recently to realize that how toxic environments can like hurt you. Yeah. Like how a toxic environment can mess with you, like your mental, the way you think, the way you move, your motivation, everything like that. I never realized just because the situation I was always in. I never. But now I was starting to see it firsthand from a bunch of people around in my life, and it's just like, yo, okay, I could kind of see why people would move out. So usually I'm like, yo, you can stick out through it. Like, don't worry about it. They'll fight through it. Like, it's only going to be for a couple of years or 2 years, but I'm sure your productivity level is 1,000 times better than you were if you were in a toxic environment.
I've been making a lot more money. But besides the money aspect, though, like, it's also your sanity. Yeah. But here's the thing with that, too. Wow, you kind of just lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
That was so fast.
So like I said, the biggest thing is, like, if you're in a good space, then stay in that space.
Oh, got it. All right. So as I was saying, though, when it comes to like toxic and everything, it's like so much willpower that you have within a day alone before you actually need to mentally and physically rest. Yeah. So being in a toxic environment, you have to, a lot of your willpower for the day goes into getting yourself even up and out and about from that toxic environment, mentally as well as physically. So now let's just say you have 100% to start off your day. Just to get up and going is like 30, 40. So now you're down to 60. So for the rest of the day, to be productive and to get everything you need to get accomplished, you have 60% willpower. So now let's say you're going to work, traveling, all that stuff. All that willpower is being cut down. And once you get, it's like your phone. Once you get to a low battery, it's like you don't really want to be on your phone as much. It's moving slow, and you don't want to be on your phone as much. You want to be on your phone as least as possible so you can charge it. So now let's just say like the things that the time spent when you really need to use your willpower, you can't because your battery is low. So now you're not being productive as much as you should be, and because of that, you're not being productive. So now you're gonna go back home, and now that's the rest of your willpower. Now your energy is done. So now you got to just charge it up and go to sleep. But I'm saying that to say this. That willpower is evident, and it's really needed. Like you need willpower to keep yourself going. Yeah. No, so if you're in an environment and you don't have, and if you're in an environment and it's toxic and it's not beneficial for you at all, I highly suggest you figure it out. Whatever you got to do, you can use that as motivation. Just figure out whatever you got to do to get out of that environment. Because at the end of the day, what you're going to be doing, you're going to be wasting more time than you need to. Because let's say you're wasting like the next 5 months out of 6 months out of the year, right? Those 6 months could have been more productive if you figured it out and just dipped in and figured out how to get out of there. Because now you have to pay for things and things are more expensive.
But you're going to work harder.
Right. And not even just that, you'll be more focused. Not just because you have to pay for this stuff, but also like your mentality is different. You don't have to worry about the toxic things that's around you.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%, bro. Yeah, so I'd love to see where we're at in another 6 months, I guess, when it really matters.
Check it out.
And then we'll make it happen from there. But yeah, like we said, we have to go. We just recorded an episode before this. If you didn't listen to our last episode, it's a dope episode.
You was tripping.
What? How?
They didn't listen to it.
Oh, you didn't listen. You are tripping. Yeah. So go check out our last episode, our previous episode with Justin Credible and Justin Cred, and then we'll make it happen 92. From there. 92. You have anything to say?
Yeah, I got a quote. I'm waiting for it.
Alejandro, you got a quote?
No, I got a quote. I want you to say.
Oh yeah, so everybody, this episode number 40. We appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us. Everybody that's listening to every episode, hitting us back, leaving us comments, leaving us like suggestions, reaching out to guests. We have a lot of guests reaching out to us and everything like that. Like we said, our schedules are kind of iffy right now. Everybody's adjusting to their new schedule and everything, but we're definitely going to pick back up on the guest and keep on growing this and taking this podcast to the next level. You can follow me at Way Too Irrational. You can follow Hansome at HansomeKelly_. You can follow Guru if you need any video or anything at Alehandro M.
31.
31. Damn, I almost had it. Next one, I'm gonna have it. And I was like, you can follow him to do any video. I was thinking in my head like what it was. And yeah, if you need anybody, if you want to reach out, have any suggestions, you want to leave us an email, a topic, or anything, you can always email us at whatarewedoingpc@gmail.com.
Guys, also remember what Alehandro Guru, what he's doing. He's also I know he started his event in which he's giving away free money. You know, so if you have some great ideas that you need if you need some funding, he's the man to help you out. So you definitely want to contact him for that. Another thing as well, we have this thing called Bowls Banquet, which is our third year doing this, third annual Bowls Banquet. What we'll be doing, we're raising money for Thanksgiving. We have this thing called Feeding the City. This is our 5th year doing it. Bowls Banquet is a fundraiser for that. It's going to be November 10th. At the Boys and Girls Club, 110-03 Atlantic Boulevard. I'm nice. Huh? 17th? Thank you. Oh, yeah, November 17th. Thanks, man. Oh, yeah, 10th is. But, yeah, back to it. So, that's Bowls Banquet. If you guys want to stop by, we're going to be having a fundraiser basketball games throughout the whole day. It's going to be 12 and under. We're going to have 14 and under. We're going to have high school games there, unlimited games there. Come stop by. Yeah, again, so what that's doing, that's a fundraiser for us Feeding the City. That's an event we've done for the last 5 years, in which what we do is we have goals that we want to hit. Like last year we did 1,500 individuals that was fed. This year our goal is 2,500. If anybody's interested in helping out as well, you guys can help out with dishes. You guys can help out with just donating your time, your services, anything that's needed that's going to help us provide to feed those that's less fortunate, those that are homeless. We have these dishes. We go around. We go to different shelters. We go to the different subways. It's amazing, guys. Again, our goal is 2,500 this year. We need every help that we can get. If you guys are highly interested in doing that, email myself directly, or actually
just email. Use email.
Yeah. You can get us, email us, and then I'll direct you from there.
Because we get that on the get that. Yeah.
But all right, so to close out, here's a quote. Let me get some water.
That's so corny. This guy's so corny.
Did you hear it?
Come on, go.
All right, here's the quote. All right. Before you can change anything, you have to understand. What?
Sorry, go ahead.
Bro.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead one time.
Before you can change anything, you have to understand why it is the way it is.
All right. See you guys next week. Later.